Huey, Dewey, and Louie? No. Their names were supposed to be Jet, Turbo, and Rebel.
I could have been Turbo?
I told Donald. I wrote it down in case no one could understand him.
I could have been Turbo!
What the fuck is this kid doing?
The voices! I've been seeing people call out big book talkers for doing reviews on books that they've never read before. And in the comment sections of those videos, I've seen people say, you know, is this how people are reading 20 to 30 plus books a month? Because how else would they be able to do that? And something I would like to add to that is there are people without Book Talk and Bookstagram that read 20 to 30 plus books a month. Simply because, and this may come as a shock to some, they enjoy reading. You know, crazy concept. I just don't understand how some people cannot fathom the fact that there are people in this world that like to fill their own human experiences with things that they enjoy. Whether or not that's watching TV, playing video games, baking, listening to music. People do that. That's a real thing. And people doing fake reviews of books they haven't read, that's crazy in and of itself, but I wouldn't immediately jump to every single person that says that they read 20 to 30 books a month are lying, because it's possible. People do it all the time.
These are the 5 longest books I've ever read. Number 5 is A Little Life. I could not find an accurate word count for this, but it's just over 700 pages. It has very tiny font and it took me a long time to read because of how heavy it is. It's kind of one of those books you can't put down, but you have to put down because it is so intense. I have very mixed feelings about this book because I don't know whether I'm actually happy at all that I read it. And I don't agree with a lot of the messages in it. At 280,000 words is Inheritance, which is book 4 in the Inheritance cycle. This was too long in my opinion, but I still loved it because it's a great conclusion to an amazing series. Number 3 is my current read, which is sitting at just over 290,000 words. I'm loving this at the moment and I know the books only get bigger. Number 2, sitting at 295,000, is A Day of Fallen Night by Samantha Shannon. This is beautiful. If you're looking for a Game of Thrones but centered around women and less of a patriarchal world, then this is for you. One of the best fantasy books I've read this year. And sitting at number 1, an absolute monster of a book, is this sci-fi space opera, To Sleep in a Sea of Stars, also by Palini. This took me a month and a half to read. It was such an incredible journey. I don't read much sci-fi, but this was just so much fun. He's so good at building intricate and creative and amazing worlds.
Eternity without me. You will look into the faces of passers-by, hoping for something that will, for an instant, bring me back to you. You will find moonlit nights strangely empty, because when you call my name through them, there will be no one.
You're not on the wrong side of Book Talk. I want you guys to take a look at this.
I had a perfect 5-star average till this bitch came on. She said it was really great. The ending was kind of predictable. Yeah, well, it's my life, not a fucking murder mystery. But other than that, it was incredible. So you just gave me 4 stars. What?
First of all, girl, I don't know if you saw, but they are beating your ass on Twitter and on Goodreads. Second of all, the way that you just try to tell everybody in the book community that you calling a reviewer a bitch was a joke and that you're a comedian is wild. Every single month, there is a new story about authors getting into spaces that do not belong to them and attacking reviewers. Whenever authors do this shit and they complain about bad reviews, they are basically setting up the reviewer to get harassed. And the thing is, 4 stars isn't even a bad review. You're not entitled to 5 stars. Hell, you're not even entitled to reviews or readers. This kind of behavior makes the community unsafe. If reviews bother you that bad, do not read them. But if you cannot handle the fact that not everyone's going to like your book and not everyone's going to give it 5 stars, then are you really ready to be an author?
We're such a mess together. You make me lose my temper. And also, and I'm going to touch your hand when I say this. When I said that you're not special, I meant that.
This is just your friendly reminder that when you see a big book talker with a wall full of books, just know that they did not pay for half of those. I have not paid for a good chunk of all these books. And I will say that for any book talker you see that's on PR lists that gets arcs, they have probably not paid for a good amount of their books too. Publishers and authors will send us books for free in the hopes that we will read them, like them, and maybe promote them. We sometimes ask for these books from them, but a lot of times we don't. They just show up. There have been cases where I have been sent 2 of the same book that I didn't ask for. Listen, I love this. I love receiving these books. Sometimes they send me books that I have never heard of and weren't on my radar, and then I fall in love with them and I find a new favorite, and that's amazing. However, I just want to make sure that you guys know that this and all this isn't normal. I do not pay for all of these. I am very lucky and I really love collecting books and I love my book collection. However, I do not want you guys to be comparing yourselves to major book talkers because we get help. This isn't all us. Having a lot of books does not make you more of a reader, and it's not something that's required to become a book talker. All that matters is that you love reading, and that's it.
You need to know while I'm still standing, you just fade away. Don't you know I'm still staying better than I ever did?
What kind of pick-me girl shit is in this book? You really expect me to sit here and believe that this bitch is being offered the world by this fucking fairy prince and literally being assured that her family is not starving or freezing to death, and literally all she has to fucking do is just live and be happy in this fucking magical fairy kingdom, this fucking magical fairy palace with a fucking magical fairy prince at her beck and call, and she's saying no? She's rejecting it? Shut the